Yo, I don't even look forward to making Colts post game videos anymore. I don't know. I feel like when I'm repetitive or just giving the same thing about something, and when everybody has already said it and seen it now, I feel like my place on it is invaluable. Um, just think about it, right? Like, what is there to say about this Colts team or this loss that will not be said by an ESPN person, by another YouTuber, by someone on Instagram, by someone on TikTok, Facebook, anywhere on the internet? There's not. There's nothing unique that I can give you because it is as clear as day what the problems are. And as bad as that is, it's a good thing, okay? When you give up 41 points on defense, you step back against any team, right? You step back and you say, with like no turnovers, right, until the very end when it doesn't really matter too much. When you give up field goals or touchdowns on every single offensive drive for like 3.5 quarters, you step back and you say, wow, we suck. And coming into this game, I'm a guy who forever has said, I want the Colts on prime time. I want us on when we're good, yada yada. I'm glad that the good Colts team wasn't seen by people. I'm good because this is the Colts team today that I have been watching for the last 5 to 6 years. And as annoying and as heartbreaking as it is to see again, it's the truth. So, America got to see the truth. They didn't get to see this BS in the first 7 weeks where we're playing freaking the school of the blind, basically, and winning by 40, right? Oh, wow, we just won 43 against the Raiders. Well, everybody did, right? We just won this close game against the Cardinals. Everybody did. You're starting to look back, and I'm not a guy to be cynical or a guy to be so negative, but I am a realist. And as you guys know, in my prediction video today, or, well, yesterday now, because this is today's video, I said that it was just going to be another loss that was late game, bad decisions, and bad coaching. I mean, you're down 2 scores and you start with runs up the middle. One of the biggest issues I saw was one where you run it up the middle, you basically lose a yard, get to the line of scrimmage / you lose a yard, but there was a punch, unnecessary roughness, so 15-yard penalty. Great job, Shane. Let's not do that again, right? Because that basically didn't gain anything. And he runs it right up the middle again and gains 1 yard. So, like, are we learning things, or do we have like a child coaching the football team? And like that's as brutally honest as I would be. Ownership, meaning the Irsay daughters, are gonna have a huge chip on their shoulder this offseason from us fans, and it's that we want change, right? I've been voting with my wallet for a while, right? I did go to Colts Cardinals this year. That was money I spent on the team. But other than that, I have not spent any money on Colts stuff. None of it that I get or own is me buying it, really. You see me with the same jersey on, the same shorts I've had for a couple years, the same socks I've had for years, because I'm not going to fund a team that is not, they don't give a crap, okay? I said to my mother on the phone the other day, and this is really perfectly said, these guys, when the offseason first gets going, right when the season ends, are going to fly their happy ass down to South America, fly their happy ass over to Dubai, whatever, lay on a beach somewhere and chill, okay? So at the end of the day, I'm not going to be angry when I'm looking at the effort that they're putting in, okay? I look just across the border at Chicago Bears, and I think to myself, wow, that team has heart. That team plays like the city that they're in, right? Tough, go and get it, gritty. And you can tell when their season ends, most of them are going to be back on that practice field in a couple weeks. Maybe they go on a little vacation, but they're right back at it. This Colts team, they're chilling probably for months before they really come back. They're not doing drills, whatever. No, they're chilling, they're making money, they're drinking on some coconut, whatever. It's all fun and games. And you know what? That's cool. Most of our players are just in it for the money. They don't love the game of football, okay? And that is really one of my biggest issues. So you got to get rid of a lot of the guys, and you got to get guys that are going to want to play football, going to want to stick it through injuries. Truthfully, as much as Jones gets dragged through in this whole situation by a lot of fans, I love Jones. Jones stuck his body out there in the middle of a gosh darn season just to make a playoff push. That is a baller. That's a football dude right there. Okay? This loss was not on Phillip, by the way. That's a football dude right there, too. Unretires, comes in, really balls out tonight. So, we need more football guys. More guys who are fired up, ready to play. Phillip, once it's over, goes home and has his kids. Maybe that's the difference, you know? There are certain players on this team who, you know, the offseason, it's going to be hanging out with the wife, their kids. That's great. I'm not saying everybody needs that, but everybody needs discipline. And I think most of these guys, when the season's over, the discipline's gone. Kobe was drenched in sweat weeks after losing an NBA Finals. And he woke up and was drenched in sweat, already practiced before the rest of Team USA. Team USA had LeBron, KD, Curry, all these great guys. Right? And he was up hours before them after a loss. That's the type of guy we need. That's the type of guy I believe Warren is, right? You know, that's the type of guy you can tell Alec Pierce is because of the way that he's playing and out there making plays. Is that the way that Nick Cross is? Slowing up behind a player who trucks one of our defenders in front, so now you need to run up and act like you're there for the tackle. That's going to be seen in film room, buddy. You're going to be seen in the film room. This team is a joke still. They've been a laughingstock. They've been a joke, and I'm glad. Keep laughing, people. We deserve it. Indy, you have disappointed me somehow once again, but at the same time, you have gone 8-7 and are 2 losses away from proving exactly what I said at the beginning of the season, which is you would go 8-9. I don't care what would happen, you would go 8-9. And you did it. So great job by being the most predictable, laughable, sucky team in the football league. And you're thinking, wait a minute, but that's the Raiders, but that's no, those teams, we knew were going to suck. Those teams have a future first-round pick. Those teams have a foundation of certain young players. This team is fundamentally, at its roots and core, has people diseased around the locker room that don't want to win football games and just want to go, you know, drink a freaking beer on a beach or, you know, go chill out in Dubai and mess around. That's cool. Do that. But I don't want those players in the Indianapolis Colts because that does not represent my city. That does not represent my state. I'm mad. I'm angry. I'm upset. And I'm almost done covering this team completely this year. I know we have 2 games left. Luke, there's still a chance. There is technically. I don't care. I really don't care. Look me in the eyes and tell me the Colts are going to do anything in the playoffs. They're not. If they get there, which they won't. Goodbye.